Welcome bitches, one and all, to My Reaction to Season 1, Episode 21 of the Vampire Diaries, Isobel. So last time we had the flashback episode where we actually saw the brothers become vampires, and we found out that it was actually Stefan who made Damon become a vampire in the end. Obviously it's a lot more complicated than that because Damon was originally planning to with Catherine and all that, but at that point in time Damon did not want to and Stefan forced him into it. We also ended the episode with Isobel finally showing up at a bar where Alaric was drinking. So I'm hoping that this episode, being titled Isobel, will either give us information or I'm hoping that we get flashbacks to when she actually had Elena and what led to it. And I want to find out if there's anything more to Elena looking like Catherine, if there's some kind of magic involved, like a witch did something. I don't know, because it just seems weird. And I've always had issues with them being the same actress, them looking exactly alike. I don't know, or are they just going to play it off? But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'm super excited to get into it, so without further ado, let's begin.
It's good to see you. You look good. I hear that you're a high school history teacher.
So we're just jumping into it? What the fuck?
You were supposed to warn me and move on.
Wow. What a dark and twisted way to see things. I don't think she loved you the way you loved her.
I understand that you know my daughter, Elena. I want you to arrange for a meeting with us.
Interesting. So she now wants to meet her. Where is the emotion? Yeah. Wow.
You selfish bitch.
Mm-hmm. Nice, Alaric. She deserved that. What an emotionless woman. I would assume, given what we've learned last episode about vampires being able to switch off their emotions, I assume that's what's happened with Isobel. She's switched off the guilt of leaving him. So she doesn't really care anymore. And she sees it as a matter of fact of she's got the one thing she wanted in life and she's getting pleasure from it. She doesn't care that she hurt him. But I think that is, like I said, I think that's because she's turned it off. I don't think she actually, if she was human, would be feeling this way. Oh my god.
You better tell Elena that I want to meet, or I'm going to start killing the citizens of this town one by one.
Oh my
And I'm gonna
god.
start with your history students.
Oh my god. What a heartless bitch. I mean, he's gonna have to do what she's asked because she's literally given no other choice now. Because I'm sure we all know she will kill them. Oh, they call Damon as well.
Isabel's here? In
She
town?
wants to meet with Elena. I find it so interesting that she went through all that effort to avoid her and now she just wants to meet. I don't trust it. Who are these?
You're late.
Oh, it is Isobel.
I assume that you still don't have the invention.
I'll get it. I said I would.
So she wants it as well.
I don't really have a choice.
She's threatening to go on a killing spree. Oh.
Yeah.
I want to meet her. If I don't, I know I'll regret it.
I mean, understandable. Oh, we're going straight to the meeting then?
Thanks for coming.
Aww.
I'm nervous.
She could talk, but he can only communicate like that. I love that. Aww. They are cute. Oh, fuck. They're throwing these things in so quickly. I'm like shook. There's no lead up. I'm like,
Hello, Elena.
Wow. Oh, I don't
You look
like
just
this.
like her. You've met Catherine? She found me after I turned. You ask a lot of questions.
Well, of course she would. You've literally abandoned her.
Human life means that little to you? Means nothing to me.
Wow.
It's just part of being what I am.
Interesting how she's taken it like that.
I know other vampires, that's not true. You and your boyfriend over there by the pool table? Why Stefan? Why didn't you go for Damon? Or do you enjoy them both?
Oh.
Like Catherine did.
Oh. Wait, did Elena not know? No, she did. I was going to say, the way that they phrased that and the way that the music went, I was like, wait a minute, what? But interesting the way she sees being a vampire. It's like a contrast to Stefan, where Stefan sees it as almost a curse and something that is destroying his life and he's a monster. Whereas Isobel has just fully accepted it as who she is. She said it's part of being who I am. Like, I regard humans as nothing because they're our food, they're our playthings. It's so interesting to come across a vampire who thinks that way when the majority of the time we've had with vampires has been with Stefan and Damon. And Stefan, obviously more than Damon, values human life quite greatly and he has interactions with a lot of humans. So to meet someone who just considers humans as nothing, it's very interesting.
I want what your uncle wants. Jonathan Gilbert's invention. I'm sorry, but I don't have what you're looking for. Sit down and tell your boyfriend to walk away.
Oh my god. Elena, family ties mean nothing right now. This woman has no feelings towards anything.
And you're gonna get it for me.
He's not gonna give it to me.
And the blood will be on your hands.
She's just so cold. I do love it though.
It's nice meeting you, Elena.
This is very realistic of someone who has turned off their emotions. Oh no. I don't know what's going to happen with those two because Elena's not going to give up Stefan, but then she wants Bonnie in her life, so...
Night's just one blast from the past after another.
Oh my god, Damon, you are so beautiful. I'm sorry.
I don't want anything with it. I'm just doing what I'm told. You know, Damon, we're on the same side.
By who?
What side is that?
Catherine's.
So Catherine's asking her to do this?
Memory serves.
Oh my god. Damon. This is Elena's mother. Hey.
Have your attention.
Hey. Oh yeah.
Going after Elena? Bad move. You leave her alone or I will rip you to bits because I do believe in killing the messenger. Because it sends a message. Catherine wants something from me. You tell the little bitch to come get it.
Holy shit. I mean, first of all, what growth to be calling Catherine a bitch and to come and talk to him because he's been like even following her shadow like a little puppy. So to be like that, damn Damon. And also, wow, let's just leave it at that. Oh.
Hi. Hey.
Is this never talk to me again or is this a different one?
Obviously upset about something and I just walked away.
Because she doesn't even know that Elena's mum's a vampire.
I met my birth mother.
And she's a vampire. God. Elena hasn't had anyone to talk to about this shit for so long, with Bonnie being gone.
I wanted you
What?
to see this.
Oh,
Is that Emily's spellbook? I've been going through it since Graham's died.
nice. Learn the craft, my darling.
That's the
Oh.
vampire compass. Yeah, according to Emily, Jonathan Gilbert never actually succeeded in inventing anything. Emily secretly spelled them all with magic.
So she made the compass? She betrayed them all? Oh my god. Did they find out she was a witch and she did it as a way to cover her family? That makes so much sense because I've literally been saying, what the fuck can you track a vampire with? How do you track them using a compass? Especially in that time period, it doesn't make sense. So, oh my god, that makes so much... Why didn't I even think that it was magic orientated? I think the reason I didn't think of it is simply because Emily wasn't on the townspeople's side. She would have been hunted herself. It must have been a way to keep them off of her back.
But she couldn't stand by and watch innocent people get killed. This was the only way she could think of to help, to let Jonathan Gilbert believe he'd actually invented these devices.
Wow.
Are you sure this is what Isobel wants?
Why?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why?
This is a weapon.
But why? They can already kill vampires. I don't understand why they need a weapon. If you have the easy ability to kill vampires, why do you need another weapon? Is it a mass weapon with like a radius?
Well, it's Anna. I've left her all these messages, and she hasn't gotten back to me, not even a text. Something could be seriously wrong, and if you know anything, you gotta tell me.
I haven't talked to her, Jared.
You guys need to actually talk about this.
Why'd you say that?
Because that's what you do, Elena. You lie about everything. I know what Anna is, and I know that you know. So tell me,
Oh,
do you have any idea where she is?
wow.
But, Jeremy, wait.
Damn. Once again, something in this episode just... Jesus
Isabel.
Christ. Again, things just keep happening out of nowhere and I don't know how to handle it.
See that man over there, standing next to Matt by the floats? So all you have to do is apply a little bit of pressure and... No!
Oh my god. Oh, Stefan.
Why are you doing this? I'm showing you how easy it is to hurt the people that you care.
Yeah.
He'll kill you before he gives it up. Is that before or after I kill your brother, Jeremy?
Yeah, Elena.
Jeremy?
She's literally kidnapped Jeremy. So Isobel is just doing what Catherine wants. Why? Why is she so indebted to Catherine? What has Catherine got for her? And also, will the finding out that it's actually a vampire killer actually change Isabel's mind? Or, interesting. We'll see where that goes.
What the hell are you doing?
Getting what I want.
Yeah, well, he's my nephew. Come on, Isabel. I know you. You can't hurt a kid.
I'll
You
kill him to
knew
prove you
her.
wrong.
Really? Are you that far gone?
She's turned it all off.
But the old Isabel is in there somewhere still.
But she only when she chooses, and you're not going to get her to stop not feeling things, because that's the opposite of what someone in that state would want to do.
Faites-le souffrir.
John!
Let's try.
Oh, she took it. You're fucked, mate. That's what I mean. He parades this ring around like he's indestructible. It can just be taken off.
He's not just gonna hand it over, especially if it's harmful to vampires.
How is it harmful?
What if it's not?
What, just lie? Oh, is she gonna
Absolutely not.
disempower it?
Bonnie can take its power away.
I don't trust her.
Oh, yeah,
I
come
can
on.
remove the original spell.
She's so sure of it.
We're doing this, Damon. And we're gonna do it my way.
I love that we're seeing Bonnie's advancement in her magic. Ugh.
You're right. You can't trust me.
But you can trust me.
True. That's always the way to get to Damon. Boom. Now, can Bonnie do this? Because I love her, and we're definitely seeing some advancement in her magic, but is it there yet?
Your ancestor invented a weapon. A device that's extremely harmful.
But why would a vampire help you kill other vampires?
Because she
There
doesn't
are
know.
reasons for wanting them dead.
Oh, interesting.
There are some good ones out there.
There's no such thing.
Bullshit. I understand his reasoning that they are monsters and they're literally the predators of humans. So I can understand the fear telling him that there's no such thing as a good vampire, but there is. They simply have to choose to not turn all of the emotions off. You know? You look at Isobel, that's a monster. That is someone who you should be scared of and you shouldn't trust. But you look at Stefan, you look at Anna, you look at Damon, they're not so far gone that they're absolute monsters. I do find it interesting that Catherine wants the other vampires dead, because I assume Catherine knows what it is and how it works, the device. And also, I wonder if she knew that Emily did all of this. I wonder if she knew that Emily had all these devices in place and she always had this backup with Emily to get them out of the church because it was her plan to begin with. I fucking love this show.
I don't believe that.
Well, your dad did.
Playing the dad card again.
That should mean something to you.
Wow. How is it harmful to vampires? Because you've currently got 2 in the room. So, careful. And also, they keep saying harmful rather than actually murdering vampires, so... Damn, come on, Bon. Ooh.
Done.
God, I really feel for this girl. She's so emotionless. I know it's a special scenario because she's currently in the room with the 2 people that she absolutely hates, but this goes a lot deeper. She's still dealing with a lot of depression right now, so I do feel for her and I hope it passes soon. But they've destroyed the weapon. It seems too easy though. So,
Where's the device? Where's my brother? Do you really think that I came alone?
where's
Think that I
my
came alone?
brother? I love that.
Call home, ask to speak to your brother Jeremy.
Oh, he's already home.
Hello?
Jeremy, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Uncle John hit his head.
Swear to God, if Jeremy goes on John's side, I'll be so angry.
Don't look for any redeeming qualities in me.
It's all gone, Elena.
But you took a risk with Damon. How did you know that he was going to give it to me? Because he's in love with you.
Well, that's a bit awkward with Stefan standing right there, but I think Stefan already knows.
Thank you for being such a monumental disappointment.
Whoa.
Keeps the memory of my real mother perfectly intact.
Real mother.
Catherine was smart. She got out.
Got
But
out?
we all know that you're not Catherine.
Alright, bitch. Catherine was smart, she got out. Catherine was the reason that the boys were with her. She forced them into it. She didn't get out, she ran away. Because she's a heartless, spineless little bitch. God, what a complete asshole of a mother. I wouldn't even use mother as a term for her. Completely disown that whole scenario, you know? Like, she isn't anything of a mother to you. And yep, I wonder if Stefan did realize that Damon was in love with her. 'Cause we all knew.
Jeremy, we have to talk about this.
No, we really don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't know what Anna told you, but there are things that you need to know.
Anna didn't tell him anything. You read it in your diary.
I'm pretty sure that your journal covered it. And same
Yeah.
with speech about invasion of privacy, because I read a section about Damon erasing my memory about what happened to Vicky.
Jeremy, please, you don't understand.
Get out.
No, Jeremy, that's
Elena, just get out.
The minute she erased his memory, I said that this was going to come back and bite her in the ass, because that's not a choice you make for someone.
Jer,
Oh, and that's going to put him on the negative side with Elena, which might entice him to go with John. What? Oh no. What?
You here as a history teacher. It's good. I'm leaving. I just thought I'd say goodbye.
You couldn't be bothered the first time, so why now? I mean, you act like you don't care, but you cared enough to protect me after you left.
I was a different person back.
Yeah, before she turned it off.
The woman I married, the woman I love, she's gone.
Not gone, just suppressed.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm ring free. I'm Vervain free, so either kill me or compel me, because I don't believe it.
Oh, Alaric, careful.
I wanted this. I needed this. And I'm gonna regret it forever. This was my mistake. Not yours.
So she regrets it.
You are not gonna remember this. I loved you. And when I think about what I gave up, it hurts. But now, your heart's free of me. It's easier this way. Goodbye, Rick.
Wow. What a beautiful scene, damn. Oh no. Is Anna gonna show up? Oh.
Anna, hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, my darling.
She's dead. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I don't have anywhere else to go.
It's okay.
I do like her. When you actually truly think about it, she hasn't really done much wrong.
Say it. Whatever it is. Purge.
Oh god, are they going to talk about it?
I'm just concerned about Elena being hurt. She considers you a friend, so at the risk of sounding like a jealous boyfriend.
Oh, there's no risk. You do.
History will not be repeating itself where Elena's concerned.
Stay the fuck away, is what he's saying.
Do you understand?
Oh, we're getting intimidating Stefan.
What do you say, man? I mean,
Interesting.
honestly, I wasn't looking forward to telling her the truth anyway.
What?
What are you talking about?
Am I the only one around here who has the ability to put two and two together? She dated John when she was 15. She gets pregnant and ends up at the doctor's office of... You get it? You there, Ann?
I'm there.
Oh, and when you do tell Elena, and she needs a friend to talk to about anything, I'm here for her.
Oh my god. Oh god, she can't have Isabel and John being the parents. That's fucking awful. Oh god.
Hello.
On your doorstep, you'll find what you've been looking for. Don't screw this up. You know what you have to do, John.
What has he got to do?
Catherine wants all of those tomb vampires dead. I
Why?
want to add 2 more to that list.
No, you're not killing the Salvatores.
I don't want this life for her.
That was always part of the plan. Consider them gone.
She's our daughter, John.
Oh, it is
We owe that to her.
confirmed. Fuck's sake. Oh, the poor girl. I wonder if Elena's dad knew.
I did something bad, Caroline, and I lied about it
To who?
to Elena.
Bonnie?
I couldn't
Bonnie!
do what she wanted me to do. But when Elena finds out, she's never gonna forgive me.
Bonnie! What the fuck? Oh my god, I thought it was too easy. And I thought she was too, like, go with the flow about it. For fuck's sake, Bonnie. I get why she did it. I get her motivation and all that, but this is about... I know that she has issues with it, and I know they're serious issues because she thinks, and is rightfully so in thinking, that they are technically the cause of her grandmother's death. Because the tomb vampires got out, and her grandma's death was nothing, and it was all because of Stefan and Damon. But to lie to your friend about disarming a weapon that is going to kill her boyfriend. What the fuck, Bonnie? Jesus Christ. Damn right Elena isn't going to forgive you, because that's awful. I've loved Bonnie up till now, but that's fucking awful. Wow. I did not think she would go there, but like I've been saying, she looks so depressed. Oh my god, I feel for the girl, but that's awful. Right, anyway, moving on, I suppose. I'm going to go back scene by scene and go over everything, because fucking hell, that was a big one. So we started off with Alaric and Isobel meeting again, which, Jesus Christ, I noticed, I said it in the episode. So many things happened in this episode with absolutely zero lead up that just left me no time to prepare myself. Like, there was no point where I sat there and thought that something was going to happen and then it did. It just happened. And, oh my god, it threw me through a loop. But yeah, just to go straight into it and have Isobel... It's almost sad to see Isobel like this. Because she is Elena's mother. We've had this whole lead up. She's Alaric's wife. So to see her come along and be just so detached and so emotionless, it's just so sad to see. And then to find out later on, as far as I understood, I don't know if I misunderstood it, she regrets becoming a vampire, but she still thinks it's what she wanted and needed to do. But she regrets it, which I find is very interesting. Because surely if there's something that you feel like you need to do, but you regret it, did you really need to do it? You know? It's a bit of a weird stance to have, so I don't quite understand that. Does she mean that she needed to do it, but she regrets that how she left things? Or, I don't know. It's a weird position to have, but the scene with her and Alaric near the end was beautifully done. All the words that she was saying, I think, was more of a goodbye for her than him, because he's not going to remember it, you know? So we then had Bonnie and Caroline having the talk where Caroline's kind of... I feel bad for Caroline because she's always on the outskirts and she's always on the outside of things and she never actually really knows what's going on. So I do feel for her, but it's hard to talk to someone when... Because Bonnie was a bit easier because she's a witch. She's supernatural herself, so it's a bit easier to talk about supernatural things with. But to talk to a human Caroline about it, especially after what Damon did to her, it's a bit tricky. Now, we then moved on to the scene with Isobel and the two humans she'd been with, which kind of reinforced the vibe that we've got this whole episode about Isobel just being absolutely emotionless and devoid of humanity. Because she truly treated these two people as puppets, as toys, as just something to play with. And I get it, because she's turned off her humanity. And no way in hell, if you have turned your humanity off, you're no longer feeling guilt. You're no longer feeling any negative emotion. There's no way in hell you're going to turn that back on. No way in hell. Because she's literally on a high right now. Why would she stop that? The only thing that would stop her is the very thing she's devoid of. Guilt. So there's no way she's going to turn it back on. So it's understandable why she would treat her food as just toys and things that she can play with. Because she just doesn't care. And again, to reinforce that, we had the meeting with her and Elena, where you would think that there would be at least some emotion to her seeing her daughter grown up for the first time, but she just did not give a shit. She was there on a mission. She knew what she wanted to do. She was like, oh, hey, Elena. And then she just got right to it and got what she wanted. So it's all very sad. Because you see these people and you see these vampires living their lives and you see them having fun, but it looks like such a sad and lonely life. But they're happy. They're content. They're feeling pleasure. So, because you would feel sorry for them because you would think that it's a sad life to have, but they don't feel sad. So, is it really? Now, we then had the scene with Damon and Isobel, which was, I loved that. One, because the actor who plays Damon is just one of the most beautiful men I've ever come across. I'm sorry. Oh my god. What the fuck? I'm blown away every time he's on screen, because that is one beautiful man. But anyway, moving on to the actual scene itself. So it showed Damon's true colors here, and it showed that Damon is different from Isobel. And like I said before, I think it's safe to say that Damon is sort of a midway point between Isobel and Stefan. Stefan loves humanity and he keeps his emotions on and he just strives to be as human as possible. Whereas Isobel's the complete opposite. She has just got rid of all her humanity. She doesn't give a shit about any humans, any emotions. She's just devoid of it all. Whereas Damon's kind of in the middle where he doesn't feel everything all the time. He isn't a saint. He's murdered people, many people, but there's still some humanity left in him. He loves Elena, which I think if you love anyone, it truly proves that he hasn't turned everything off. Because you can't love someone if you have got rid of all of your emotions. And I think that really showed there, because if he was just there to have fun and pleasure as vampires do, he would have happily taken up the chance with Isobel, but just the fact that she had threatened Elena was enough for him to completely turn and get hella angry with her. We then had Bonnie show up at Elena's house, and it was a touching moment because at that point, I truly do think that Bonnie was there to try and help Elena. It's in the later scene at the school where it kind of falls off because Bonnie's anger and Bonnie's hatred for Stefan and Damon overrided her love for Elena, which I think is a very sad truth. But like I've been saying, she seems very depressed. She seems very down, very detached. So I don't think you can really blame her for feeling that way. That's too forgiving. You can blame her on some level. She needs to take blame for this because this is an awful thing to do. But I understand why she did it. However, she's going to need to fix this. She's going to need to help Elena in some way to stop this because that's just a very bad thing to do. Very bad. So then Jeremy is kidnapped and taken back to Isabel's place where John shows up. And I've been saying this the whole time. John is walking around with this ring, acting like he's fucking invincible and like he's the most untouchable man on the planet. Mate, they're stronger than anything. They can literally just push you against a wall, knock you out, take the ring, done. It doesn't make sense as to why he thinks he's so indestructible and is just hanging out with vampires like this. He's just such an idiot. I don't get it. But anyway, this truly did show the power dynamic where John may think that he is an equal to these vampires and he may think that he is even better than them, as I'm sure he does. But truly, at the end of the day, you're dealing with these awful people and you're treating them as if they're going to treat you with respect when we've clearly seen Isobel holds no attachment to any human and she literally doesn't care. The only people that we've seen her care about somewhat are Alaric and Elena. Alaric was interesting because it's almost as if she had turned the switch back on to talk to him. Even just slightly. She turned her emotions back on just slightly to have a conversation with him. But with Elena, I don't know if it's just motherly instinct that's persisted or if she genuinely does care for Elena, but she didn't want her with Stefan and Damon because she wanted better for her, which I find is very interesting with the way she's been behaving to her throughout the episode. So then we had probably the biggest betrayal we have had in a long time, which was Bonnie telling Elena that she was going to disenchant the device so that it wouldn't be able to harm vampires and just fucking lied, which was disgusting. And I don't know what Bonnie's going to do about that because they're not seeing it as a threat right now. You've disarmed the protectors. You've disarmed the very people that are meant to be the good guys. So she's going to have to tell Elena before anything happens. But next episode's the finale. So it's going to happen. People are going to die. Things are going to happen. So now because Bonnie lied about the disenchantment, it was then given to Isobel, who then gave it to John again. So he's got it. And it seems as though he is their murderer of choice. It seems like he's the one who's meant to be actually killing these vampires. Catherine just wants them dead. I still don't know why. Why does she want these people dead? The only thing I can think about is that she doesn't want things to get worse. She doesn't want it to come back to her. So she's just getting rid of them all because they want revenge and she just wants to cover her tracks. It's weird because you think that these people were her friends. She knew these people. So why would she want them all dead? Especially Pearl, because I assume Pearl was part of the plan if John killed her. And Pearl and Isobel seem to be good friends. I know that Pearl blamed Catherine for it. Oh, sorry, I meant Catherine as well. I know Pearl blamed Catherine for it all because it was her fault, getting too close to the Salvatores. So maybe there was some tension there and she just wanted Pearl out of the way. I don't know. Because Pearl was a very old and therefore powerful vampire, so that would make sense. So then we had another scene of betrayal, which was, it wasn't so much a scene of betrayal, it was more of the reveal of the betrayal we already knew about, which was Elena and Jeremy having the conversation about Elena erasing his memory. And I said this, the episode that it happened, I said, Elena, you have no right doing this. And this is in some way going to come and bite you in the ass because Jeremy is gonna find out and feel so betrayed because you've literally wiped his memory. As human beings, the only things that we are guaranteed in life are our memories. That's the only things we're guaranteed. We're not guaranteed money, we're not guaranteed food, anything, but we are guaranteed our own life experiences and we're guaranteed the right to remember them. So for her to make that choice is just, it's so wrong for me. It's so wrong. And I know she did it for the right reasons and she thought she was helping him. And I think he should be a bit more understanding of that than he is being. But I will never blame him for feeling this way because she literally took away something so sacred. So I hope they can mend things. I hope he doesn't go down the path of siding with John. But I don't think he will because John wants to kill vampires and he's in love with Anna. You know? But it's just all so complicated. So then we had the talk with Damon and Stefan where it had been said earlier on in the episode that Damon was in love with Elena. And I don't know if I was meant to have a more of a reaction to that because I already thought that. I already thought that he was in love with Elena. It was very obvious that he had these feelings for her. I found it interesting that I don't think Stefan did realize it. I don't know if it's that he didn't realize it or he simply was hoping that it wasn't there or he didn't want to talk about it because then it'll bring it into the world or what. But it seems as though Stefan was a little taken back by it and a little offended and angry about it. And like he said, jealous. It makes things all the more complicated now that it's actually out there and in the world that Damon loves Elena. So Stefan and Damon both love her. So once again, as Isobel stated, it is the same way that Catherine was back in the day. And like, I don't understand when she said that Isobel was smart enough to get out. She didn't get out. She was forcing them to be with her. She just got bored, didn't want the life anymore and left. That's how I see it. Because she, as we all know, she didn't go in the tomb. She just left. She just up and left. She left her things and went. So it doesn't make sense to me that Catherine knew to get out. Because that's bullshit. And then we got the huge bombshell that John is actually her father. So that means that Jeremy and Elena were related after all, but they're not brother and sister, they are cousins. And did Elena's parents know that John was the dad? It would make sense because that's why they would be at the hospital and why they would cover up these records because it's family. But to take her on and then still have John in their lives when he's the father, but not actually tell Elena that he's the father? I know it's different because they adopted her and they raised her. They are her parents. But I'm talking from a purely biological side. To have this uncle in your life who's actually your father, that's so fucked up. And I don't think Jenna knew. But then Jenna got with him as well. Ugh. It's just so many weird, complicated relationships with this family. Ew. But yeah, poor Elena. Poor Elena. To have her actual parents who raised her, her adoptive parents, but her real parents, who raised her, be dead, and to be left with these two, as to find out later in life that these are your biological parents. Poor fucking girl. My God, she got the real runt of the litter with those two, didn't she? She got an emotionless mother, and she got a killer father, who kills her boyfriend's species. Like, Jesus, Elena got it rough. And then obviously the final scene was Bonnie revealing to Caroline that she did betray Elena. And I like the way that they did that it was to Caroline and Bonnie didn't have to give everything away, but it still gave away to the audience the shock of the scene. Because that's just such a big betrayal. And I can't believe she did it. And God, it's just, I didn't expect that from Bonnie, but I understand. But yeah, anyway, with that said, on to question time. So first up is, how do you like the Vampire Diaries so far? I love this show. I love this show so much. And hearing from people that seasons 2, 3, and 4 are amazing. I don't care if people haven't mentioned that late seasons are amazing, because whenever I get into a show, I don't really care if it gets worse at the end, because the majority of them do. I'm so attached to the characters already that I'm happy to keep watching, you know? Like, it doesn't bother me. But so far, the fact that I've enjoyed season 1 this much, and the fact that season 1 has been just so incredible so far, to know from other people that 2, 3, and 4 are even better just blows my mind and gets me even more excited to continue. Because I love everything about it. I love the premise, I love the world building, I love the character development, I love the acting, I love the directing, I love the cinematography. It's all just so well done. And I'm just shocked that I never watched this sooner. Like, it always popped up in my feed, but I just never thought about watching it. So the next question is, what character do I find the most interesting and why? I don't know. That is a big question. I'll have to have a think about that. Off the top of my head, I think I would have to say Damon. And I've had this talk with other people before where they're saying like Team Damon, Team Stefan. I'm not really on a team. I don't really want a team. I don't really want to support one over the other. I just, so far, as I've said before, I find Stefan to be a little more boring than Damon. And I find both of them to be the most interesting, simply because they've lived the longest lives and they've got the most in-depth personalities. They're very developed because they've lived so long. And they've lived this whole other life before coming into the show. Whereas everyone else, they've just been high school students. They've just lived their life as anyone else does up until the point that we meet them. And then everything special in their lives has been from after that. Whereas Damon and Stefan have lived, 160 years? They've lived so long. So they're definitely the two most interesting. And if I were to talk about who's the most interesting of the two, I would have to go Damon. Because Stefan just gets... I think the previous episodes have showed that Stefan has a lot more to him than previous. Because I used to find Stefan very boring and just not that interesting. However, the past few episodes about seeing him with human blood has really advanced that and really changed my mind. But Damon's just still that little bit over the edge because Stefan is just he's the good guy. That's who he is. And he wants to be as human as possible. And because he wants to be as human as possible, it makes him very basic in that sense. And I don't mean that to say that he is basic, but comparative to Damon, where you see someone who is a vampire, is a monster, but is also caring, is also loving, but then is also a murderer, but then also has devoted his whole life to getting the love of his life out of a tomb, but then treats humans like absolute shit. It's such an interesting back and forth. Whereas Stefan's just very set in stone that this is who he is. And yeah, it just makes him a little more boring in that sense, but it's like going from 100 down to 90. It's not boring. It's just when you compare the two stories, I'm more interested in Damon's. So the next question is, what do you think of Damon and Alaric's friendship? That is an interesting one. When watching it and when just simply thinking of it from a viewer point of view of enjoying a show, I like it. I like them together. They're a very good dynamic, but it's a very weird relationship because you started it off with the idea that Damon murdered his wife. So it's sort of put in your mind that these two would want to kill each other because if Alaric went to kill Damon, he would just kill him. And then it moved on to Damon turned his wife, which we assumed at the start wasn't by her choice. It was something that he did, just based on past events. However, we then found out that it was actually her wanting to, and she actually seeked out Damon to become a vampire. So you can't really blame him for it. So my opinion of it has changed over time to the point where right now, I quite like it and I would like to see them develop it further, but it's still icky based on the past, you know? It still just feels a little bit wrong. Right, next question is, what do you think of Isobel and her comments? I mean, I think I made it perfectly clear that she is a heartless bitch who I don't have any good things to say about her because it's understandable that if you've turned your emotions off, that's how you'll be. But just the very idea that she did turn her emotions off is enough said about who she is, that she took the easy road out. That she didn't want to live with the guilt, so she just turned it off. And if you really want to become a vampire and this is who you want to be, the idea that you wouldn't want to live with the guilt, don't sit right with me. If this is what you wanted and this is who you were accepting who you were, you should live with that guilt. You should. Because you wanted this, you wanted to become this, so you should be this. And I get that being a vampire is, like Damon said, their nature is to forget. I think it's a disservice and a very cowardly way out to do that. So those are my opinions on Isobel and her comments. Now, the final question, and it's a juicy one, is do I ship Damon and Elena or Stefan and Elena? Now, I don't know. And I think this is an easy way out, and I do apologize. But I ship them both for different reasons. And shipping is a weird one, because I do like shipping. I like shipping when it's towards characters who aren't actually canonically together. I like it when... I don't want to spoil anything. I was going to reference the show, but I won't spoil it. But there's a certain show that I know and love where the fans were shipping these two people together for so long, and it was only in the finale that they actually got together, and it felt really good. And I like stuff like that. When you're dealing with ships where you've got an established couple and a potential couple, I feel it's a bit more icky. Towards this situation, the reason I say both is because Stefan and Elena, we saw it when they were at the bar with Isobel meeting Elena. They're very cute together and they're very loving towards each other, and I do really enjoy them together. And I honestly think they're very positive lights in both of their lives. And I really do appreciate that, and there's definitely something to be said about that. But then I look at Damon and Elena, and when they did that dance in the previous episode, it was just so raw, and it just felt so right. And I thought about them being together, of course, just based on the way that the show is and with how Catherine was. And it's always been that you think that you think that Damon's also got feelings for Elena. However, actually seeing them interact with each other in that close proximity and that intimate moment, it gives a whole different feel because it truly makes you think about them two being together. And I really did like it. I really did like the vibe it was giving off. But again, that being said, seeing Stefan and Elena and how happy they make each other, it kind of outweighs that. So if I had to pick, I would say Stefan and Elena, but that's only because they're together at the moment and I see how happy they make each other. If they were to break up and Damon and Elena got together and they were even happier, then I would definitely ship those two. So, I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for the questions. They were an absolute pleasure to answer. If you didn't know already, I am going to be posting these after every single episode for all the shows that I do. Some of them, if they don't really have a lot of attention, like Chuck, I don't think has a lot of attention, I'm just going to put the questions in the actual episode itself. But for Vampire Diaries, where there's a lot of people watching it, I'm going to post a separate post each time where you can just put your questions so that I don't accidentally see them, you know? But yeah, anyway, another cracking episode, absolutely amazing. I'm going to be watching the finale right now, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.